I'm going to call the December 8th special meeting of the Planning Board together at 6:30 p.m. Is there any, we're here on the Legacy Landscape and Design. Is there anyone here from the public wishes to comment?
Sean, you got anything to say?
Okay, I'm going to read the seeker resolution. We think we may have done it at the last meeting, but we don't have the minutes, so better safe than sorry. This is the draft seeker resolution with incorporated statement of consistency with LWRP. The Town of Rhinebeck Planning Board hereby acts as follows on a proposed action being an unlisted action involving applications to the Planning Board by Legacy Landscapes and Design, LLC, for special use permits and site plan review and approval under Town Code Chapter 125 zoning in the matter of the proposed construction of a 5,440 square foot storage barn and other building and site improvements integral to a retail nursery use on 6.357 acre tax maps parcel within limited portion of the LCT overlay district and in its entirety both the Community Business South District and the town's LWRA. All is depicted on a site plan, Phantom Gardener 2, prepared by Mark Graminsky, P.E. and L.S., dated August 29th, 2016, and revised to September 26, 2016, and related set of building plans by Pioneer Pole Buildings Incorporated, dated September 7th, 2016, and otherwise described in the applications and related short EAF Part 1 Coastal Assessment Form and Agricultural Data Statement, all as executed by Mr. Graminsky on behalf of the applicant, and being the subject of an application for area variances considered by the ZBA seeking relief from non-complying conditions identified by the CEO.
Quick question, did somebody lock the front door?
I'll go check.
I'll check. I'm gonna have him sit upstairs.
1, determines upon review of the short EAF Part 1 and its own completion of the annexed EAF Part 2 in consideration of the criteria for determining significance set forth at Title VI, Part 617.7.c NYCRR, and the pertinent coastal policies set forth within the town's LWRP, that the proposed action, as described in the applications and supporting documentation presented by the applicant and his representative, will cause no potential significant adverse impact on the environment, and thus issues a negative declaration. Determined of non-significance, deeming an environmental impact statement to not be required and stating such will not be prepared. 2, authorizes the acting chair to so execute the short EAF and directs the planning board clerk to file the executed determination of significance in the manner set forth within the seeker implementing regulations, Title VI, Part 617.12 NYCRR. 3, further severally determines as otherwise incorporated within the above negative declaration and with due consideration of the comments offered by the town's Waterfront Advisory Committee, the proposed work associated with the proposed improvements to the retail nursery buildings and site to be consistent with pertinent coastal policies set forth within the town's LWRP. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion.
Melody, Woody, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Edna, Eric. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried. We have the draft approvals resolution under Town Code Chapter 125. I won't read the first part as it is the same. In the matter of the application for special use permits to improve and expand the site and facilities of the existing retail nursery business. First, finds the proposed work to be consistent with the general standards for special permit uses set forth at Town Code Chapter 125, Section 125-67. Second, finds through its overall improvement of the business site the proposed work to advance conformance with the design standards set forth within Town Code Chapter 125-64(1). Third, finds the proposed work to have negligible, if any, impact on water resources and/or other environmental resources, either within or adjoining the project site. D, issues requested special use permits to the extent required to carry all elements of the proposed work, including demolition and removals, new building construction, and site improvements listed within the application for site plan review and approval that's first submitted on August 29th, 2016, and then revised on September 26, 2016, and depicted on the above-cited site plan and building plans. E, conditions the issuance of the above-cited special use permits upon the securing of site plan approval and the timely satisfaction of all conditions and/or requirements related to site plan approval. 2, in the matter of the application for site plan review and approval, A, in consideration of the nature and extent of the proposed work, waives the submission of any data not heretofore presented which would otherwise be required upon strict application of the submissions checklist set forth within Chapter 125, Section 125-75, subsection C. Approves the application under Town Code Chapter 125, Section 125-73, and authorizes the chair to stamp and sign the above-cited site plan and building plans and to transmit signed copies thereof to the applicant, the ZEO, and the building inspector upon the applicant's satisfaction of the following conditions and/or requirements within the next 6 calendar months. 1, submission of a catalog cut for the wall-mounted lighting fixtures intended on the proposed storage barn. 2, submission of an intended palette of earth tone colors for the roof and side walls of the proposed storage barn. 3, submission of the above-cited documents for stamping and signature in the form and number specified under Town Code Chapter 125, Section 125-78, subsection B, or as may be modified by the acting chair in consultation with the ZEO. 4, payment of any fees or reimbursable amounts due the town related to review and processing of both this application and the aforementioned application for special use permits. Can I have a motion to accept?
Second.
Melody and Edna. I have to poll the board. I have to take minutes here, too. Richard?
Aye.
Aye.
Eric, aye. Woody?
Aye.
Edna?
Aye.
Jesse? Melody?
Aye.
Okay, and I vote aye. All in favor. Okay. Motion carried. Done.
Guys did great for it on that one.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas to you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Thanks for all your
I
hard
have work
work.
to do tomorrow.
Looking forward to seeing
It's,
it all done.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Looking good over there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the color palette stuff. Someone will get from Ed then.
Yep.
I circled them, the 2 colors,
I put a note on here, too.
and I know the wall mount, like in that. And the stamp plans, like I said, we should either have tonight or tomorrow, so it's all me. Thank you. Have a
Okay.
good night.
Thank you.
Okay, next is Williams Lumber, 6760 New York State Route 9 North, site plan, draft seeker resolution with incorporated statement of consistency with LWRP. The Town of Rhinebeck Planning Board hereby acts as follows on a proposed action being an unlisted action involving applications to the Planning Board by Williams Lumber, Inc. for special use permit and site plan review and approval under Town Code Chapter 125 zoning in the matter of the proposed construction of 2 T-sheds, one being a new structure and the other a replacement structure, on tax map parcels at 6760 New York State Route 9 North within the Community Business South District, said installation in compliance with lumber storage requirements under Section 125-68T of the Town Zoning Code. All is depicted on a site plan prepared by Mark R. Graminski, P.E. and L.S., dated August 29th, 2016, and a related building plan by Crowther Auto Stack, dated July 5th, 2016, and otherwise described in the application and related short EAF Part 1 Coastal Assessment Form and Agricultural Data Statement, all is executed by Mr. Graminski on behalf of the applicant and being the subject of an application for area variances considered by the ZBA seeking relief from non-complying conditions identified by the ZEO. 1, determines upon review of the short EAF Part 1 and its own completion of the annexed EAF Part 2, in consideration of the criteria for determining significance set forth at Title VI, Part 617.7.c NYCRR, and the pertinent coastal policy set forth within the town's LWRP, that the proposed action as described in the applications and supporting documentation presented by the applicant and his representative will cause no potential significant adverse impact on the environment, and thus issues a negative declaration determined of non-significance, deeming an environmental impact statement to not be required and stating such will not be prepared. 2, authorizes the acting chair to so execute the short EAF and directs the planning board clerk to file the executed determination of significance in the manner set forth within the Secret Implementing Regulations, Title VI, Part 617.12 NYCRR. 3, further severally determines as otherwise incorporated within the above negative declaration and with due consideration of comments offered by the town's Waterfront Advisory Committee, the proposed work associated with the construction of the 2 T-sheds to be consistent with pertinent coastal policy set forth within the town's LWRP. Can I have a motion to? Edna?
Second.
Okay, Edna. Woody, motion to accept. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
Eric? Who made it?
Dad, Richard.
Okay, Richard. Richard,
It was a co-motion.
Eric, close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None, a motion carried. Okay. Draft approvals resolution under Town Code Chapter 125 zoning. I won't read the first part. In the matter of application for special use permit to improve and expand the lumber storage facilities of the existing retail lumber and hardware business. A, first finds the proposed work to be consistent with the general standards for special permit uses set forth at Town Code Chapter 125, Section 125-67. B, second finds the proposed work to be consistent with the coverage requirements for lumber storage set forth as a specific standard for a lumber yard at Town Code Chapter 125-68T. C, in consideration of the above findings, issues the requested special use permit under Town Code Chapter 125, Section 125-20, District Schedule of Use Regulations. D, conditions the issuance of the above cited special use permits upon the securing of site plan approval and the timely satisfaction of all conditions and/or requirements related to site plan approval. 2, in the matter of the application for site plan review and approval, A, in consideration of the nature and limited extent of the proposed work, waives the submission of any data not heretofore presented, which would otherwise be required upon strict application of the submissions checklist set forth within Chapter 125, Section 125-75, subsection C. B, approves the application under Town Code Chapter 125, Section 125-73, and authorizes the chair to stamp and sign the above cited site plan and building plans, and to transmit signed copies thereto to the applicant, the ZEO, and the building inspector upon the applicant's satisfaction of the following conditions and/or requirements within the next 6 calendar months. 1, submission of all of the documents for stamping and signature in the form and number specified under Town Code Chapter 125, Section 125-78, subsection B, or as may be modified by the acting chair in consultation with the ZEO. 2, payment of any fees or reimbursable amounts due the town related to review and processing of both this application and the aforementioned application for special use permit. Can I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Edna and Jesse. Hold the board. Richard?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
Woody?
Aye.
Melody?
Aye.
Jesse?
Aye.
Edna?
Aye.
And I will vote aye. Motion carried. I think that takes care of these.
takes care of it.
One other thing, Woody, you want to bring up the conversation about 2 meetings a month that was resulted from our processes committee? They asked us to check with the other members.
Oh, what is the processes committee?
There's a committee that was appointed by the supervisor to look at streamlining the zoning and planning board application process, looking at timelines and looking at how we can simplify applications, how we can provide applicants with better information up front, how we can provide applicants with better information after they've received their planning board approvals in terms of all of the things that have to be submitted post-approval prior to.
Kind of like a how-to,
How
what-to
to,
list. I think it's great. I think
Are they asking our input on whether we think doing that will
They
make
will,
that happen?
they will be, the goal of the committee is to have recommendations completed by the end of December. And we talked about those ideas coming back to both the planning and zoning boards for their input. One of the things that has been discussed for some time is the fact that the zoning board of appeals currently is scheduled to meet twice a month, where we meet once a month. Oftentimes, that moves more things to the planning board, and the discussion has revolved around whether or not that needs to be reversed, with the zoning board of appeals meeting monthly and the planning board meeting twice a month. So we were asked to come back to this board and determine from you whether you would be opposed to moving to twice-a-month meetings, should that prove to be more efficient in terms of processing applications on the part of the community.
How long has this committee been a committee?
Couple months?
I would like to, I'm willing to meet twice a month, but I think a more effective approach would be to, for the zoning board and the CEO to dial back a little bit on what they put in front of us.
That's also what has happened as a result, no, I shouldn't say as a result, what has happened since the situation that arose that we had to correct tonight in terms of the lack of referral on the part of the zoning board, which is why we had to all backtrack on this. The town has authorized Art to work with the zoning board of appeals over the next few months to sort of advise them as to the best way to process the applications that are coming before them. So that's going on simultaneous with this. So he's going to be working with them to streamline some processes and to outline for them the sequence and steps they should be taking.
Are these open meetings to the public? Because I wasn't aware that there was a formal committee. I, by all means, would like to be part of it. We can meet 4 times a month, and we can make everything much more expedited. But we have some real problems with our zoning that need to be addressed. And that, in itself, will speed up the time Well, that's dramatically. another issue that's going.
It is, but it's certainly related in that approach
We're looking
makes
for-
us take a different approach
Right,
to
we're
our
looking
meetings.
for a way to speed the process up, and I think we are more qualified than anyone to identify some real game changers that we could just say, you know what, this is not necessary. I realize that's how it's spelled out, but we don't need to do this. This could be handled by the ZBA, by the building inspector, with a mention to us, and, you know, just so you're aware. But to wait for an applicant to wait for an extra 2 weeks just to come in front of us and say, yeah, this is fine, that's ridiculous, is a real time killer. And I think we've proven that many times over the last couple of months. But I'd like to see that to be a big part of that conversation. Us, as volunteers, going out of our way. If somebody wants to pay me, hey, I'll come every day. But we are volunteers, and to double up our time or triple up our time, I think that's asking a lot.
And especially if our role is limited to just a rubber stamp for
Yeah.
whatever the ZBA says, so.
I think that,
Or the-
I think
or
that
the
Woody would
CEO
concur that
says.
all, everything's on the table in terms of conversation.
Yeah, and I don't think the analogy of a rubber stamp is a fair way, because we don't rubber stamp anything. We spend a lot of time.
I understand
pursuing-
we
We do,
do,
but I think the
but
better-
we've been sent letters that say you will not bring this up, you will not speak this way. It's just silliness, you know. There's no direct communication between the zoning board and the planning board. There's no way we can talk directly to Ron except we have some extemporaneous meeting.
And the better
Okay,
point,
well-
the better point is that our opinion is just an opinion. We're advisory.
Right.
We're not, we're a board.
Yeah,
We're bored, and I don't need to waste my time offering an opinion unless I'm gonna be part of the process,
Okay.
and unless my vote is gonna count.
exactly right.
Back to my original question, which
Well, it would
was,
seem to me that if we were to meet twice a month, we would be talking usually about shorter meetings.
I would
Yeah,
assume
that's
the whole idea
that's the
is-
plus on it. You know, shorter meetings, 2 meetings a month, as opposed to 11 o'clock at night,
All
once
right,
a month.
so our task was simply to raise the issue with you tonight and find out if there were any strong reservations against going. I don't know that that will or won't be the recommendation, but the idea was to bring it up with you and to find out whether or not you were opposed. And it doesn't sound to me like you are opposed.
I am strongly opposed to just saying, yes, let's double up the meetings if there's not going to be a more comprehensive approach
I agree
to
with
the issue. To say, let's double up, let's triple up. Let's meet every week. It's an elegantly simple solution, and it certainly fits the budget.
I don't,
I think I want to see, as a long-standing member of the planning board, as everyone here is now. It's a pretty unique, we got a lot of people who spend many years. Woody, how many years you been here? So, out of consideration for the volunteers, I think that more than just a nod, and, yeah, okay, we'll meet twice or 3 times a month, should be considered, that's all.
I agree.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your input.
How often do we meet twice
Do
a
you
month
guys
anyway?
need some help?
Yeah, I just left something.
About a quarter of the time.
Every third month.
Yeah, it
June,
seems
we
that way.
usually, June we do
Yeah, we
because of the
was looking
time
at it. I think
frame.
we go ad hoc.
This was a special meeting because of a special
Yeah, yeah. No, we've
extenuating
had a couple of those.
So
circumstances.
we've
but
had, I think it'd be like three months maybe,
Maybe
you know.
3.
Generally, we go, instead of 12 meetings, somewhere around like 15 or 16 meetings a year. so-
I think we've hit like 18.
Yeah, it kind of goes
Yeah.
with the ebb and flow.
Yeah.
It does.
And we're usually done by 9 o'clock. Most
Some days.
meetings. Most
There
meetings.
hasn't been a really late one for a while.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
I make
Okay.
a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Hi.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
School concert.